There was a certain day Brad came to me with another difficult situation. Again, I had to rethink, like, is it best for me to stay or best for me to go? I just felt suffocated and hopeless. All that I was carrying with me and my family and my marriage, I couldn't lift it anymore. And my arms just got weak and it fell.
Kristen was at her breaking point. And that's when God got to work on her self-reliant heart and soul through the message of a children's movie.
And so I was canning peaches, and my kids were watching Narnia. I was listening to the storyline behind Narnia, hearing these children in that movie and how at the beginning they were hopeless, they were lost, they were fighting, they had not much to live for, they lost their parents. And then they stumble into this world where they see there was purpose and there was good and evil, and they were a part of this story with prophecy, danger, and redemption, with the lion, Aslan, and all this, and then having to forgive their brother and the damages of the sin, and just seeing the gospel being preached through that movie. And then by the end, the redemption and the joy and the freedom that they have, just riding through the trees and so happy and just so close to God, really. I was listening to that and considering wow, the bigger purpose. It shed a light on things in a certain way.
As she listened to the story, God used it to teach Kristen several important spiritual lessons.
Stepping into this world, they start seeing their own brokenness. Those that are on the good side are encouraging them, saying, we've got this battle to fight and we need you. And so they feel needed, and they're like, all right. They feel like they can do it on their own. And pretty soon they find out they can't. One at a time, they go back to their old ways, they start blaming each other, and they fail, basically. And so it's actually the point where Aslan, who represents God, dies for them. They realize that it's him. It's all about him. It's not about them. And so there's this pivot. And it's through their humility of just letting him reign and letting him lead out, letting him call the shots, letting him be the king and the master. And as they follow the master, they become victorious through him instead of through themselves.
The message of a substitute who lived, died, and rose to save those he loved impacted Kristen immensely in her heart and soul. She realized it's not all about her and what she does, but all about God and what he has already done.
In my life, I was picking myself up over and over and dusting myself off. And on this particular day, I just knew I couldn't pick myself up again. I knew I needed something outside of myself to pick me up. The message of this movie is about the battle, good and evil, and conquering sin through the blood of Jesus, and not through something that I could ever do or that anybody could do. I realized that there's another way to operate, there's another way to live. I was stepping into something new, and it took a lot of courage to reconsider my life, and I knew I was doing that on this day. I wouldn't describe it as courage. I would describe more of a surrender. It was more of a letting go. I was putting it all on me, all on my plate. I was wanting, to control the outcome because I didn't know there was any other way. I thought, this is my life, this is my marriage, this is my town and my children, and so I have a responsibility for this to turn out good. And I just knew I wasn't able to do it anymore. Who can I hand my life off to other than God? Maybe stop playing God and let him do that.